Good morning, accounting class. Happy Monday morning again. We are sitting on May 25th today. Wow, it's getting down to the wire here. We've got a bit of a different topic today that you won't need your e-textbook for. We're going to do this all self-contained, and this activity is called the worksheet. It's something you'll be using in the grade 12 course coming up, but it's also something we're going to incorporate in our question for the end of the semester. So this, as you can see, is something called a worksheet. And I'm going to show you or go through a little demonstration with you how to complete it. So we're going to go to Andrew's demo here, and we have got a 6-column spreadsheet here called a worksheet. This is for Andrew's landscaping. And we can see that we have here a regular trial balance, nothing different on the trial balance section, and it's balanced at the bottom. So I'm going to show you how we're going to move these figures over to see whether they belong on the balance sheet or the income statement. Okay, so first of all, bank. We know that that belongs on the balance sheet. I've got them color-coded here to make it easier for us conceptually. So I'm just going to go here that it equals. Remember, we don't enter numbers, just formulas or cell references. So we go enter there, and we've got the right amount in there. Now I'm going to drag down, so I don't have to do that for each one. Drag those down, and you can see how instead of having to go cell reference for each one, it does it for us. So you can see up here that it's 1084, but look at my formula is equals C8. By dragging down, I'm able to save some time. So we can see that the bank loan also belongs on the balance sheet. So we're going to have to go equals for the first one there and enter. And now, of course, we can drag this down for the other color-coded ones. And we've got everything moved over. For our HST recoverable, that also belongs on the balance sheet, but it's a debit. So we have to go there and enter. And we've got that number moved over. We got capital, which is also on the balance sheet. And we've got the capital moved over, and drawings, which is also on the balance sheet. Okay, so that takes care of our balance sheet items, right? All of the drawings, capital, HST, liabilities, and assets are all on the balance sheet. Now we get to the next account called fees earned. Fees earned, of course, will belong on the income statement. So we will go to the income statement. And I'm doing this to show you, but I'm sure that you can figure this one out as well. General expense and all your expenses belong on the income statement as well. And I'm going to copy down. Now this was the easy part of the worksheet. There we go. So now we need everything in its right place. We've got the income statement accounts that belong on the income statement section. We've got all the balance sheet accounts which belong on the balance sheet section. So now we want to add up our column totals. You can see here that the trial balance balances already, and that they've got a formula in here already, D5 to D24. Perfect. So why not let's use that formula and just drag that over, and we'll get it to add up all of our column totals for us. Okay, good, done. So now we see that they don't balance. Uh-oh. Remember, accounting people love things that balance. So these don't balance, so we have to get them to balance. So first of all, does this company have a net income or a net loss? Let's take a look at the revenues. Revenues are $30,897.55, and our total expenses are $28,375.97. So you say, well, of course, they have a net income because revenues are higher than expenses. So we're going to write over here net income. And to figure out our net income, we're going to put it in this column because we want them to balance. So we'll go equals this minus our expense total and enter. We have a net income of $2,521.58. So now we're going to do the total of that one. We'll add those two together. So you'll get used to this doing the demo. And we're going to drag this one over right there. And so you can see we have a balanced income statement section here now. But the balance of our balance sheet accounts or columns is unbalanced. So we know that we have a net income. Does net income increase capital or decrease capital? And you'll say, well, of course, it increases capital. So therefore, it would go on the credit side because a credit increases capital. So we're going to find out the difference here. And so equals that figure minus this figure. And it should be the same as, oh, look at that. It's the exact same as our net income because our net income increases our capital. So now I'm going to drag that total over and we will have now balanced balance sheet columns as well. So that is a balanced worksheet. We see the net income figure there and also there, but they're based on different formulas and they have to agree. This is also called the balancing figure, okay, because it balances our worksheet, which is also equal to net income. Okay, so that balancing figure is also the net income. And you can see might have to go through that to see how we figured it out. Okay, perfect. So now once we've done that, we have to move over to the income statement tab at the bottom of our worksheet. And we have to prepare an income statement. So revenue, we've got here. So we go back to our, get rid of that thing. Go back to our worksheet and grab our revenue. And we call it fees earned. So I'm just going to, oh, sorry, I should have done equal sign over there. Let's go back to our income statement. And I'll just go equals. I'm going to show you a little trick here in a second. Back to our worksheet. Find our fees earned. And enter. And come on, there we go. So fees earned is there. And now for expenses, I'm going to show you a little bit of a different trick. Instead of having to do that for each single one, under expenses, we're going to go over to our worksheet and grab all of our expenses and copy them. Right, not the values, just the words. And we're going to copy. And we're going to go to the income statement and we're going to paste. Okay, so you can see that is it, but we've got some column stuff here. So I'll show you how to get rid of that. It dragged the column formatting as well. So I just go up to my borders and click no borders and boom, done. Now you notice that the font is a little bit different, but you can change the font to make it more consistent however you want. So now we go with our numbers. We need our numbers, but we can't copy our numbers over. We have to do them as cell references. We'll go to our worksheet, grab our fees earned, which is right there, and enter. And we'll go grab our expenses. And we put those in the inside column, not debit or credit, but inside column. So we'll go equals, go to our worksheet, grab each one, advertising expense, enter. Now what happens if you said that you do want to grab each one, or if you want to copy and paste them down? Let's see whether that's going to work. We'll get that one, enter. And let's do a little experiment here. So we need general expense down. So let's take these ones Oh, one more, there we go. So let's copy, bring them over to our income statement. And paste, see what happens. You see we're getting the colors, but we're not getting the numbers. So I'm going to undo that, and we're going to go back and the other thing is that you will get numbers and not cell references if you do that. So we're just going to go through and get each one individually. I know that you're going to say, hey, I'm going to do the copy and paste like I did with the words, but it won't work out for you because you won't get the full grades because you don't have cell references. So we'll go and get each one of those, and you can probably fast forward through this, right? Because this is the boring stuff. You already know how to do this. What did I do? Whenever you get in trouble like this, press your escape key. It will get you out there. So now we'll start that one again with the rent expense. I get happy fingers and I'm pressing buttons all the time and that happens. So rent expense, enter. And we'll get our telephone expense. And now this will go faster on yours because when I'm making a video, it always takes longer. It's the lag time, as I've mentioned before, is bad. We'll just take a couple more minutes and get these. So hopefully you're enjoying the weather this weekend, and today's Sunday morning, which is why I'm saying that for me. And it's been a beautiful, beautiful couple of days to get out and go for a bike ride or whatever. And equals, get my last wages expense here, and enter. So now I've got all my expenses. You see I've got a couple of empty columns here because I used a different template. So I'm just going to get rid of those, and I can highlight those and go to Edit and delete rows 15 and 16 right there. So I do that, and they're gone. Okay, so now my total expenses right here, I want to have total all of those numbers right there. So I'm going to go to my sum. Remember, we don't write any numbers in our financial statements. All we do is use formulas and cell references. So there's my total expenses, and then my net income, of course, is going to be equal to that figure minus this figure. Enter, and we've got a net income of 2521.58, which again is the same as our worksheet. 2521, okay, 58, same number. So that's perfect. So there, that's done. And then we're going to go over to our balance sheet. And it's a bit of a different format for balance sheet. So I've copied and pasted all of my assets there for us already. So now we're going to go get some. Now this is a different looking balance sheet, and this is one of the things that we're going to learn this particular activity, is a different type of balance sheet. So here we go, Andrew's Landscaping. We've got our assets here. So we've got 3 columns, 1 column, 2 columns, and 3 columns. So we're going to learn how to use these columns, and then I'm going to set you free to do one on your own for this week, and that will be it. So we've got bank. Now where are we going to put these numbers? Well, we're going to put these in the middle column. They're not assets or liabilities or anything like that, and we'll show you, or sorry, they're not debits, credits, or totals. We'll show you the rhyme and reason behind this, but it's done the same way every single time. So let's go back to our worksheet and get our bank account balance. Get it from the balance sheet. And enter. Oh, escape. I forgot to do equals on that. Okay, go back here and go equals. Go to our balance sheet, get our bank account figure right here, and enter. So we're going to go through, take a couple of minutes to do this particular activity. Now, you know by now that we're not going back to school, and we're going to finish out our semester online, which is a shame. We've got 2 grade 12s in our class, and we were putting some signs out on the grads' lawns Friday morning last week. So hopefully, Louise and you like those, and good luck to you guys next year. I'm going to go back here. Get our supplies. Again, this is tedious work, I know. But you'd be using pen and pencil in class. Maybe you find this a little bit easier. You can see how some have dollar signs, some don't. You can go back and format all that stuff later. Tools we're going to get. Enter. I should have pre-done this so I wouldn't have to waste time showing you guys, but that's okay. You're fast forwarding and listening to your tunes or whatever. So we're watching another video. There, and I'm showing you once we get past that our liabilities are a little bit different. So we'll get our truck, and truck is right there. Perfect. So now you can see we have a couple extra columns. So remember that little tip. We're going to go to highlight the ones we don't need, edit and delete rows 11 and 12. Okay, we've still got one extra, but that's okay. Total assets, we're going to move right down here, and we do an equals, or sum formula. Sum, we're going to grab these and enter. So 21, 148, 10. It should be the same as our column. No, not yet, because we've got HST recoverable. So these columns don't match yet. So don't get too hung up if they don't. So there's our total assets. And now we have liabilities. So our liabilities, if we take a look at our worksheet, how many liabilities do we have? We've got a few here. So we're going to take these. I'm going to copy them. The words are okay doing this, just not the numbers. And we're going to paste. So this is a different look to our balance sheet. I know. Oh, we see we've got some formatting column stuff. So remember, we're going to highlight that, go up to our borders, and click no borders. So now we're also going to use the middle column to take a look at our liabilities. And this is going to be a little bit different for us, though, because we've got our HST in there, which we'll show you what to do with there as soon as we get their bank loan. And we've got our accounts payable. Go back to our worksheet. And now we've got our HST payable. We're going to move this over here, and I'll tell you why in a second. So this is something different. HST payable. We'll go get that. Enter it. So up here, I'm going to go in the formula, or in the columns. I'm going to make this a less HST recoverable. And so we're going to put our HST recoverable underneath in the first column. So you can see how we're using all three columns. And this is the reason why. So I'm going to go equals, go get my GST recoverable number. So this is going to be a little bit different right there. So you're learning how to do a worksheet, and you're learning how to do the proper form. This is a classified format for the balance sheet. So right beside this, we're going to have this number minus this number. and we have the difference between our HST payable and recoverable. Okay, so this is basically how much HST we owe. Remember, this is the HST that we had on sales, and this is how much we get to recover. So the difference is how much we actually owe the government. So now we're going to have our total liabilities over here. Oh, I moved that. This should be up one. Okay. Over total liabilities right here. So sum formula again. Sorry, this is so slow, you guys. I don't even know whether you're going to watch this whole thing or whether you're going to have it figured out. So there's our total liabilities. Okay. So now the owner's equity section is also a little bit different. Actually, we don't need that line there, so I'm going to get rid of that line as well. Okay, so there's our total liabilities. Owner's equity, a little bit different. Opening balance, what does that mean? Well, we're going to go back to our worksheet and get our capital figure. And we'll see how this works. Capital figure is right here. Get our capital figure. And over here, it says net, just says net income. We're going to put our net income figure in this first column though. So where can we get our net income figure? Well, we can get it either from our income statement or from the worksheet. We'll get it from the income statement. Equals this figure right here. Remember, we're not entering any numbers on this on the financial statements, all cell references. Less drawings. Where do we get drawings? Well, let's get that from our worksheet. Go to our worksheet, get our drawings figure. Oh, what did I do? Press my escape button. So go back to our balance sheet. We'll go equals. And we'll go back to our worksheet and get drawings. Right there. Enter. So we've got net income less drawings. And we can see that this is going to not be an increase in capital. We've got the company made $2,521.58, and that the owner took out $6,400. Okay, so that's not good. So this is going to be an equals this figure minus this figure, and enter. You can see that it's a negative. So it's this automatically over here. You see how that changed to decrease? It's a formula that I've got built in. It's an if formula. You can see up here. It's kind of a neat if formula that if this is a negative number right here, this word will change to decrease. So you can use that formula later on. So ending balance then is going to be our beginning capital minus this. But because it's a negative number already, this is where spreadsheets get a little bit confusing. We're going to go plus this, which is a negative number. If we do minus, it won't work out so well. So there is our 11,090. So from math, it's positive number minus a negative number, which is really plus the decrease. So we're just taking that and that away. So now finally going to add up our liabilities and equity. So there's our liabilities, add our equity, and enter. And boom, we have ourselves a balanced balanced balance sheet. Okay, so this is a different form of balance sheet that we're going to be working on from here on in. So we got balanced balance sheet. So that's what I wanted to show you for this week. I'm going to give you a company called Bob's Plumbing, which will be in your drive folder. And oh, look at that. It's the same color coding and everything. There's your income statement over here. And there is your balance sheet right there. So simple task this week, folks. I would like you to do the worksheet, the income statement, and the balance sheet for Bob's Plumbing. And that's it. So that's not bad. Next week we'll put a little bit of a twist on it, and we're eventually going to end up with, for those of you who are still listening to me, we're going to end up with doing some transactions on a journal into a ledger, onto a trial balance, which is on the worksheet, and then completing your financial statements. And that's where we're going to end up basically for the semester. So have a great week, you guys. Signing out. And keep up the emails with any questions you have. You've been fantastic so far. And don't forget, if you didn't do the posting exercise from last week, to get that done as well. So you've got some work to do. Have a great week.